What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is a video I've very much been looking forward to for a very long time now, and it's finally time for once and for all to make my full playoff predictions. That is right. I'm going to go round by round, who wins each matchup, who gets each conference championship, the Super Bowl, and of course the overall winner at the end of the bracket. Now, a couple rules before we get into this bracket. For the divisional round, as according to NFL rules, the lowest seed will be playing the 1 seeds in each conference. These are completely my predictions, and they can very well be changed. Hey, I'm not making this as a prediction that I'm saying this is 100% going to be right as always, but anything can always happen any given Sunday, and we are going to see at the end. Am I right on my predictions, or am I completely wrong and had an off year this year? So, without further ado, let's get into it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe in this video. Comment down below what are your predictions for these playoffs coming up. And without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so in the first round of the playoffs, we have a couple interesting games on each side of the conference. But first, let's start off with the AFC. In the AFC, starting at 1:05 tomorrow Eastern Time, we have the Indianapolis Colts as the 7 seed against the Buffalo Bills as the 2 seed. I love both of these teams, and I love how they play. But at the end of the day, there's only been one team that's been playing the best football right now. And it's not the Kansas City Chiefs, which I wish it was. But it is the Buffalo Bills. And here's the reason why. I mean, you're looking at a defense that is honestly getting pressure on the quarterback from any level. You have a receiving core and a receiver in Stephon Diggs who is playing like out of his mind right now. Josh Allen's proven to be an MVP candidate. And in my opinion, they're on a 6-game winning streak because they're playing the best football right now. So, although I love Indy as a team and I love that they're in the playoffs right now, they are just not capable, I think, of taking on the Buffalo Bills. So I have the Buffalo Bills moving on in this matchup. The second matchup out of the AFC is going to be the 1:05 game on Sunday, which is going to be Tennessee versus the Ravens. This is a very, very intriguing game. I've been looking forward to this game, and I've been predicting this for a long time now, and I am very much looking forward to this, as a lot of other NFL fans are. Now, this is a very intriguing game for many reasons. But in the end, as much as it is for this Ravens offense, I love Lamar Jackson. I think he can very well take over a game. I think this run game with J.K. Dobbins leading the way can very well take over a game. You got receivers in Marquise Brown, and you got guys out with Mark Andrews, and so on and so forth. But in the end, the Tennessee Titans have Derrick Henry. He's a 2,000-yard rusher. And in the end, what was the difference last year against the Baltimore Ravens? They could not stop Derrick Henry. Because they cannot stop Derrick Henry, I think it's going to repeat this year for some reason. I just have this nagging feeling inside me that Derrick Henry is going to come out here and just go and have a day like he has last year against the Ravens, where he was running over, basically cannot stop anyone. And that defense on the Ravens side cannot stop anybody, including Derrick Henry, for the remainder of the game. So just because of the Derrick Henry factor, I got Tennessee pulling it out here. The third AFC matchup we got is going to be Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Upset alert. I got Cleveland winning this one. The Pittsburgh Steelers are not playing their best football right now. They barely, and I mean barely, lost to the Browns last week, by 2 points. And here's the problem. Even though the Steelers, I started out 11-0, lost 3 straight, and then ended up having basically not a very good, strong rest of the season, I just do not see him winning this game. I think that the balanced attack of the Browns with Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt in the backfield, and then of course Donovan Peoples-Jones, Jarvis Landry, Rashad Higgins on the receiving core, I think that this offense is going to go out and play a very good game. They're going up against a tough defense, but it's not the very same defense as we saw with that 11-0 perfect record start. So just because I think that they're going to find ways to actually make plays against this defense, I have the Browns in an upset with a 6-3 upset over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Heading over to the NFC side of things, we're going to start out in the wildcard round with the Seattle Seahawks going up against the Los Angeles Rams, 4:40 Eastern Time tomorrow. And one of the very most intriguing parts about this game is going to be basically who is going to come out on victorious. This is the third time these teams have met just this year alone. I cannot remember having a team play 3 times in a year against a divisional opponent in pretty much my lifetime. I've not seen it happen for a very long time. I don't think it's even happened in the entire time that I've actually even started watching football. So this is a very, very intriguing game, and I'm very, very much looking forward to it. And if you guys remember, the Los Angeles Rams lost to the New York Jets. Defense, which is the somewhat best defense in the league at that time, lost to the New York Jets and did not look good at all. Now I think that Seattle, with that home field, I love what DK Metcalf is doing. I set the record for most receiving yards in the season in Seahawks franchise history. And I think that his trend continues. I think that he's going to have a great game on Sunday. I think that Russell Wilson is going to find ways to make a lot of plays. Chris Carson running the ball. And that defense, which has drastically improved throughout the season, I think this is going to be a great and very, very big win for the Seattle Seahawks over the Los Angeles Rams. And moving on once again to the divisional round. The second game in the NFC, the Saturday night game, which is going to be the Bucs against the Washington football team. I'm not going to say much about this except for 2 words: Tom Brady. I think that of this advantage against these 2 teams, Tom Brady is the X factor. The Washington football team, their quarterback is nowhere superior to Tom Brady. The legacy of their quarterback, nowhere superior to Tom Brady. And I think that just because, even though Mike Evans is questionable for this game, it is not going to be a big issue. They are much, much more talented than this Washington football team. And I think just because of that, we are going to see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers destroying, and I mean destroying when I say this, the Washington football team and move on to the second round. Now, in the 2-7 matchup, we have the Bears and the Saints, and I do not see the Bears pulling off an upset here, sadly. I think that even though they are going up with a chip on their shoulder, they got into the playoffs, they lost to the Packers week 17. They're trying to prove themselves that they belong in here, I think. But just because I love what Alvin Kamara is doing, and I think that even though he is on the COVID list, I think he is going to be able to get activated and play in this game. So just because I have the Kamara factor in there, because he's going to be off in time, I think that the Saints are going to run all over the Bears and excuse me, and end up wearing out this defense. And what I mean by this is pounding the rock and not having a 6 touchdown day, not having that. But what we will see is that Kamara will continue to pound the ball and run over this defense. I got the Saints winning this one over the Chicago Bears. Moving on to the divisional round, very intriguing games. So with the seeding lined up, we have the Kansas City Chiefs going up against the Cleveland Browns. This is a very intriguing game. I've been thinking that this team in my Kansas City Chiefs will be playing this team for a very long time now. I've always been saying this, and I've always been thinking about this. And I think that even though that the Cleveland Browns have this rushing attack and their balance and their great pass attack, in the end, they need to stop Patrick Mahomes, which, in my opinion, could be doable. But the problem is that I think when Patrick Mahomes has a chip on his shoulder and when the pressure comes to him, I think that's going to be where he shines. And just because of that factor there, I think that the Chiefs will win this game over the Browns and advance to the AFC Championship game. I think that the Browns are going to give it a very legitimate shot. They're going to come to play, but in the end, they have to stop Tyreek Hill. They're going to have to stop Travis Kelce. They're going to have to put pressure on Patrick Mahomes. And in line with that, create turnovers for themselves, which can be doable, but I just do not see it. And because of that, I have the Chiefs beating the Browns to advance to the AFC Championship game. With that, next, we are going to be having a very intriguing matchup in the other AFC divisional matchup. We're going to have the Bills against the Titans. I am going to really love this matchup. I've been wanting to see this, and I've loved how these 2 teams have played. But again, the Bills are playing the best football right now. We talk about teams peaking at the right moment. The Bills are one of those teams. In my opinion, it's the 2 teams who are doing that right now, the Packers and the Buffalo Bills. And because the Buffalo Bills have been peaking at the right time and they're playing their best football right now, I think the trend continues. Even though Derrick Henry's on their side, I do not think it's going to matter to them. I have the Bills winning and advancing to the AFC Championship game. On the NFC side of things, we have Seattle going up against New Orleans. Seattle is a team that has been on the uptrend. Their defense has drastically improved throughout the season. And, New Orleans has really made a very good running game with Alvin Kamara, have some great receivers on their side with Emmanuel Sanders, Michael Thomas, and I think that it's going to be a very great game to watch. But here's the difference maker in this game. I think Seattle's defense has drastically improved. And that point that I made, I think, is really going to help them to win this game in advance. The reason why is because when the game is on the line, they'll be on their prime. And because of that, they're going to create some turnovers late in the games. They're going to stop Alvin Kamara and not let him get the effective run game going later in the game. And I have the Seahawks winning this one in a close one, in an overtime battle against the New Orleans Saints in advance to the NFC Championship game. Now, the next one is one of the most crazy upset alerts I have. It's the Tampa Bay Bucks going up against the Green Bay Packers. And I have the Bucks winning this one. And here's the reason why. The reason why I just see an upset coming here is the Packers struggle against the run. Ronald Jones is in the backfield. And I think if Ronald Jones will get going, which I predict will happen in this game, then I think the Packers are going to struggle. They're going to find a balance. The Bucs are going to find a balanced attack in this game with Antonio Brown. Hopefully Mike Evans will be back by this point. And also all those other receivers, Gronk on the tight end slot, and then of course Brady under center. I think that they will find ways to really wear out this Packer defense. And of course, on the defensive side of the ball for the Bucs, the Packers all-pro left tackle is out for the season. I think that, especially that's on Rodgers' blind side, I think that will really create a bunch of trouble for the Packers. And because of that, I have them getting 3 sacks in this game. And with that, the Bucs advance to play the Seahawks in the NFC Championship. In the championship matchups, we have the Chiefs against the Bills. And this is going to be a very, and I mean very, very high-scoring ball game. Now, really, when you talk about the Chiefs this season, you really see that they've not played well in shootouts. If you look at, if they play in shootouts, they generally do not play well and really give the teams a very good opportunity to really win this game on them. Now, even though this is, I think, a more talented team than the Bills, I think that they can play much better than they are right now. I do think, though, that the Bills will give a run for the money. However, just because that this is going to be a Chiefs team that the Bills are going to put a lot of pressure on themselves and have basically having to give everything that they got, they are going to really, I think, find some trouble in this game. I have the Chiefs moving on to the Super Bowl and going to Tampa. In the NFC Championship game, it's the unthinkable Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against the Seattle Seahawks. And sadly, the Tampa Bay Bucks run will end here, sadly. I mean, I love what Tom Brady can do when he's on the line. I think that the factor of him will really make a difference, and they will need to watch out for him. He's not the same this year, but he can really make some plays down the line, and the Seattle defense is still going to find ways to make plays, create turnovers, and take advantage and get lots of points off turnovers. And that's why I think that the Seattle Seahawks will advance to the Super Bowl and play the Chiefs. In the AFC versus NFC Super Bowl matchup is the Chiefs versus the Seattle Seahawks. Again, I think that even though the Seattle Seahawks do have it, I got my Kansas City Chiefs improving as 2-time Super Bowl champions and winning their second straight Super Bowl over the Seattle Seahawks. Even though they have their great defense right now is on the uprise for the Seahawks. They got lots of weapons on their side, a great run game led by Chris Carson. And even though I think they will create turnovers and get sacks on Mahomes will find a way to make plays late in the game, and the Chiefs win their second straight Super Bowl. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe on this video. If you guys love what you guys saw here, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. I'm very close to 50 subs, trying to get there before basically this season is over is my goal. And until next time, have a great rest of your day. Good luck to all the teams this weekend, and let's all have a great playoffs for us all to watch. Go Chiefs.